I grew up living a little bit north of here, playing in the woods and out in nature. And when I was 7 years old, my friends and I, we were playing with matches, and I started the woods on fire in a residential area. The fire got out of hand, and by the time we realized it, I had burned up 5 or 6 acres of trees. And I remember I had to bear that burden for so many years. Everybody laughs because now here we are 20, 30 years later, and I use fire as a tool in what I get accomplished out here in the woods. It's kind of funny how it came full circle and it's become a part of my profession and my life. My name is Paul Wood. I'm the land, timber, and cattle manager for Winston Land and Cattle Company in Lufkin, Texas. I've been doing this job now full-time for about 10 years. When I first started out, I didn't know very much. Poles was an area that we wanted to investigate. We found out a lot about it, educated ourselves, got with the professionals, and we've been able to generate a good amount of money by selling poles.
There are many landowners in this region making good money selling poles, but it definitely takes commitment. The diversity of the longleaf ecosystem is what's great. It provides habitat for pollinators, for wildlife species, while also creating great timber income.
Managing for poles is not a quick process. Patience is required. These longleaf trees might not mature quite as fast as some of your other pines do, but in the end, the reward is way over the top. You're going to have a much better process, much better land. It becomes a much more sustainable product.
When someone asks me about growing longleaf and selling poles, my response is always the same.
And what's that?
Fire.
Longleaf doesn't just do well with prescribed fire, it actually depends on it.
Longleaf thrive off of fire, and they will grow much more vigorously because you're prescribed burning. That has to be one of your tools. This is an open pine system, and the rewards of that are your sunlight is able to penetrate the forest floor because the woods are open. That sunlight hits your grasses, your forbs, they're able to flourish because of it. But these same forbs and grasses that are flourishing because of the sunshine, that becomes our fuel we use to move the fire through these trees. These trees can voluntarily regenerate from the seeds that are dispersed from the mature longleafs down to the ground, and they begin growing a whole new generation of longleafs. That's a full circle process. That is financially extremely valuable. When you see a property that's been burned on a regular basis versus one that hadn't, it's dramatic, the difference in looks.
Don't plant where you can't burn, because you will not grow longleaf. If you cannot burn, you'll grow sweet gum and other trash species that you do not want on your property.
Obviously, you don't have to be a forest specialist to do what we do. There's multiple agencies out there that will help you. When we're looking to do a replant, the Texas Longleaf team is there to make sure that we have the right tools, as well as oftentimes the right funding, because site prep is one of the most important things when you get ready to replant. Your soils have to be proper, your stumps have to be removed. We want it ready to accept those longleaf seedlings so that they thrive in the fastest way possible. Thinning certain trees as they mature is a part of the process in timber forestry. But if these trees are going to qualify for poles in the future, we surely don't want to remove them during a thinning process. So what Tim's doing behind me is pre-qualifying longleaf trees for future harvest for poles. There's going to be some base dimensions that set the standard, as well as whether or not the tree is swaying or it's forked at the top. So different trees will qualify, others won't. Your collaboration with good partners is key. Your patience is also key. But I can tell you, if you stay hands-on, your property will not only reward you with income that far surpasses any other timber that you'll find out there, but the aesthetics will reward you on a daily basis.
Hi, I'm David Vines with Stella Jones. I'm the procurement manager for Southern Yellow Pine pole operations. Total treatment at the facility right here will be about 110,000 tons of pole quality logs every year. Utility poles can be the most viable wood product in this region. Longleaf usually makes a good utility pole due to the overall height matching up well with the utility pole class and length dimensions. They're also very free of defect. Longleaf does have longer rotations, but it has many tangible and intangible benefits, including conservation and a higher value yielding product.
In an average person's life cycle, you'll make one big impact with a really good harvest of longleaf poles. Make it the best it can be. The value of these poles at time of merchandising will provide you with the income to reinsert those finances back into any projects down the road. The more you put into it now, the more you will reap the benefits to be able to start the whole process over again. This is a sustainable process, the plantation of pines that keeps on giving.
One of the most important things we do at the Texas Longleaf team is helping landowners, helping them find the resources they need, whether that's expertise, whether that's funding. We like to play the role of bringing those folks together to create the best possible outcome.
It is important to have good partners like the Texas Longleaf team. If there's something you don't know about longleaf, they're a very good partner to have because they can answer the questions for you.
You know, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know, and that's when the help around you comes into play.
People tend to draw a bright line contrast regarding where timber income can happen and where conservation can happen. What we try to help people understand is that that can actually happen on the same piece of land at the same time.
You can manage your land for conservation, recreation, and revenue. We do it right here. There's partners that'll help you in every step of the process, and we use them every day. You know, when I think back to that day when I was 7 and I burned up those woods, I was a curious kid. I'm still as curious as I ever was. I'm learning every day, and it's still as fun as it was. I just watch where I throw my matches these days.